Hello, my guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Kenyan Beast, and this is Neo Africa. Now, UN sent some warning to Uganda, and I have talked about that. But on this video, we want to see what does the warning means to Uganda, what the warning or what the UN warning is about, because the United Human Rights has warned the election is being held in an environment of widespread repression and intimidation, according to the UN. You know, opposition politicians and supporters are targeted by security forces. Journalists, human rights defenders, and descendants face restrictions. Security forces have used force to break up peaceful assemblies. So we are seeing a number of things in Uganda that is happening, and it's a formula, it's a pattern that's always happened to countries of Africa. And there is tension behind the scenes. You know, the violence and repression, media and communication restriction, internet shutdown, opposition claims and targeting. This is leading us to one thing. We are not sure if the election will be free and fair, but we are hoping for that. We are hoping for free and fair election in Uganda. Choose wherever you want to choose, but do it in a free and fair election. And before I continue, I want to tell you, if your leader does not pass, if your leader does not win, don't kill each other. Right now, the youths of 2026, we are, boom, our mind is so, we are educated. We have internet. We can access information. Let us not protest and kill each other. What we should do, we should have another day of fighting, intellectual. You know, some wins go with force, you know, coups and everything, yes, but let's not have our brothers and sisters die because of old and young politicians. Let's sit down and look for good leaders, okay? So don't panic. Don't panic. Even if your leader does not win, do not panic. A day is coming that all this will end. Now, what's happening in Uganda right now is not just about ballots. It's not just about votes or about January 15. It's about power versus people, you know. And this is about a system that has ruled too long, coming face to face with a generation that is no longer afraid, with a generation that is yearning for change. And when United Nations issues a warning, that tells you something very important, that things are already bad, that they are afraid they could get worse. That's what they mean. They mean things are getting worse, and they're afraid things are getting more and more worse. Okay? Now, let me set a stage. On one side, you have Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, a man who has ruled Uganda since 1986, a man who has seen generation born, grew up, and now challenge him, all while he stayed in power. For example, Bobby Wine, when Museveni was taking power, Bobby Wine was just a kid, a kindergarten kid, jumping there and there, dancing there, singing those songs, you know. And Museveni was the president of Uganda, 40 years there, okay? And so you have Bobby Wine is a symbol of youth resistance, a symbol of popular frustration, and not a traditional politician, but a cultural force turned political challenger, okay? And standing above this conflict, raising a red flag, is the United Nations. That alone should make everyone pause for a minute. I'll say this. The UN does not casually warn countries before election. When they do, it usually means political space is shrinking. It usually means opposition is being intimidated. It means media freedom is under attack, security forces are being weaponized, and violence is either happening or is expected. So this is not speculation. It is a pattern that is happening to a lot of African countries. We have seen this across continents and globally too. Not even Africa alone, even Europe. We have seen this. And the warning tells us one thing. The system does not trust the people. The system does not trust the people. We cannot lie. January 15 is very dangerous. Museveni is not afraid of Bobby Wine, the individual, but he's afraid of what Bobby Wine represents. Bobby Wine represents a generation born under one ruler, youth who feel locked out of opportunity, citizens tired of recycled promises, a population connected through social media, and a political awakening that cannot be easily controlled. This is not 201. This is not 2011. It is not 2021. It is 2026. The people are watching, and the world is watching. And history teaches us something very important. When leaders stay too long, elections stop being democratic exercise. Okay, they become security operations. They become silence killing. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's an operation. It's a full operation, because what you are seeing in Uganda right now, it's an operation. It's like they are going into a territory land trying to capture some Osama bin Laden, which is not. It is just the people who are trying to yearn for their change. You know, we are seeing military deployment, we are seeing arrest of activists, we are seeing fear used as policy, because at that point, the vote itself become a threat. You just moving from your house going to vote, it's a threat. You know what I mean? Any government confident in popular support does not fear communication. Okay? Internet shutdowns means one thing. They want to control the narrative. Because when people can document, when people live stream, when people organize, power loses its monopoly. That's the truth. And that's why authoritarian system always attack. The internet, they attack journalists. You have seen videos where journalists are being attacked. Okay? You have seen where independent observers are being attacked. Larry Madowo was told, Peupe, Parwanja, don't come here in Uganda. Don't bring your Tanzania thing here in Uganda. That's what? That tells you one thing. And we have to understand this is bigger than just Uganda. And that's why me from Kenya, I'm speaking about it. What's happening in Uganda is part of continental struggle. Across Africa, we are witnessing youth rejecting all the political contracts. We are witnessing citizens questioning liberation era rulers. A demand for accountability, not nostalgia. We are witnessing a refusal to inherit silence. So Uganda is not isolated. This is the same energy we have seen in West Africa, the same energy we have seen in East Africa, we have seen in the Sahel, we have seen in the diaspora. The difference is just Uganda's system is deeply entrenched. And entrenched system don't reform easily. They resist. They resist. Okay? They resist. The real question no one is asking here is, what happens after January 15? I want to know what happens. If I could be a seer, I could have tell you what will happen after January 15. Because even if Museveni wins, of which, because can the system return to normal? If Museveni wins, can the system return to normal? You know, once people lose fear, once legitimacy is questioned, once youth stop believing in the process, power becomes expensive to maintain. So this election is not just about who becomes president. It's about whether Africa continues to accept permanent rulers, or whether the people finally say we deserve renewal, or we deserve dignity, we deserve a future. So the UN warning is not just a story. The story is why it was necessary. Dakika ngapi? Nyongeza kadogo. Allow me to say something here. If you study history, not propaganda, if you study history, the real history, you will notice something powerful. Long-serving rulers never believe they will fall. You know, they believe they are expectations. They believe they are necessary. They believe the nation cannot survive without them. You know, this psychology is very, very dangerous, because once a leader becomes a state, or once a leader becomes the state, any challenge to power feels like an attack on the country itself. You know, and that's exactly where Uganda is heading, or where Uganda is in today. Museveni takes the Uganda like it's home, and it's okay. I don't, you know, everyone knows how to run their country. But what we are talking about with Museveni here, we must be honest. This is no longer a man ruling alone. This is a military structure. It's a patronage economy. It's a political elite dependent on accountability or continuity. You know, foreign interests that prefer predictability. It is institutions shaped around one personality. So when people say, why doesn't Museveni just retire? They misunderstood the situation. If he retires, many people lose protection. If he leaves, many deals collapses. If the power changes hands, many secrets surfaces. And that's why transitions are always the most dangerous moments. I hope we'll vote with dignity. I hope we'll vote with peace. And I'm praying for peace. We don't want all this chaos. What happened in Tanzania, I don't want it to repeat in Uganda. Tell me what you think on the comment section. Peace out.